and welcome back to my channel. This is a series where I am exploring different things to do and see in Japan according to different people's interests. Last week we looked at Japan's history and traditions. I will leave a link to that video at the end of this one so you can go back and watch it if you haven't yet already. But for now, let's dive into the bucket and see which aspect of Japan we'll be exploring today. So for today, Japan is for the nature lovers. So today I'll talk you through some of the places I have been to that are filled with natural beauty and talk about some great spots for you to see some wildlife. The first place I want to talk about is the Arashiyama area of Kyoto. It's one of the most popular areas of the city at the base of the Arashiyama mountains, and it offers some iconic sights. I would recommend the Hozugawa River Cruise. The boat pier is just a 10-minute walk from Kamioka Station, and I think the best time to go is between November and December, just as the autumn leaves are changing. It's really beautiful to see all those vibrant reds and oranges as you go through the valley. I believe the cruise costs 4,100 yen, which is just under £30. It's a really funny experience because you're just in a giant rowboat and I was the only Westerner on there, and it was so cute. The lady next to me, she knew I couldn't understand Japanese and she was translating everything the tour guide was saying, which she really didn't have to. I didn't ask, but I think she was just really excited to practice some of her English. She was really nice. I feel so lucky that I got to visit Arashiyama at this time of year because I also got to see the Arashiyama Momiji Festival. This colourful autumn festival is basically celebrating the colours coming in for autumn. It takes place on the second Sunday of November, and the highlight has to be the river parade. You can't go to Arashiyama and not visit the bamboo groves. It's just forests of this spectacularly tall bamboo, unlike anything I've seen anywhere. And if you want to go see some wildlife, you can go visit the monkey park, which has over 100 monkeys roaming free. Just make sure you keep an eye on your belongings. Although Arashiyama is beautiful in the autumn season, I also think cherry blossom season would be another beautiful time to visit. We should probably have a quick word about cherry blossom season while I'm on the subject. I actually visited Japan on 2 different occasions, each for 2 weeks. The first time was in autumn, in November. The second time was in the midst of a very hot summer. So I've never actually gotten to see Japan in cherry blossom season, but that is definitely on the list. Cherry blossom trees, or sakura, bloom in this very beautiful, vibrant pink colour between March and May every year. Now I'm going to put a link in the description to an article from the Times talking about where and when Japan's cherry blossom season is this year. It gives a great detailed account of where you can see the cherry blossom around Japan and on what dates, but late March it tends to be the time when sakura is in full bloom. Hakone, for example, is a great place to see cherry blossom season. Famous for its many hot springs, Hakone is about an hour south from Tokyo. You can take a train to Odawara Station and then a bus into Hakone itself. I would recommend taking a tour around Lake Ashinoko, where you can go on a cruise on a pirate ship. Why a pirate ship? I have no idea. There's also a walking track that takes you through the surrounding forest around the lake, and you can stop and take pictures at the Hakone Shrine Torii. I'm not going to lie, we did have to wait in a queue to actually get to take a picture there, which isn't the most fun experience, but I guess that's what you get when you visit some of these more popular touristy places. You should also take the ropeway up the mountain, and if you are very lucky, on a clear day you can actually see Mount Fuji from the top. We didn't have such luck, unfortunately. You do have to have really clear weather. And this brings me nicely onto the topic of Mount Fuji, which is a national symbol for Japan. It is Japan's tallest mountain, and it's actually an active volcano. However, the last eruption was in 1707, although there was volcanic activity back in the 60s. And so the mountain is monitored 24/7, just in case another eruption were to occur, because it could be potentially quite serious. But that hasn't stopped thousands of people climbing the mountain every single year. Climbing season is between July and September, but if you don't really want to climb it, you just kind of want to get a good look at it, there are actually so many places in Japan where you can take a good view of Mount Fuji. On a good day, Mount Fuji can be seen 300 kilometers away, and Hakone is one of these really great viewing spots. Some of the tall buildings in Tokyo also offer great views of Mount Fuji. To name but a few, you've got the Metropolitan Government Office Observatory, the Sky Tree, and the Tokyo Tower. There are so many different viewing spots. I'm actually going to post a link to an online map that shows you where all these places are. I'm going to put that right in the description. Another place I want to mention, which I actually talked a little bit about last week, is the Nagano region of Japan. Now, Nagano is a very mountainous region, so it's actually a very popular place for people to visit in the winter and go skiing. It has some very popular ski resorts alongside some great natural hot springs, which are obviously great to dip in when you're in the freezing cold snow. Do you know who else loves these natural hot springs? Snow monkeys. Between December and March, you can go visit the Jigokudani Monkey Park, where you will probably find some snow monkeys having fun keeping warm in the natural hot springs. You can go visit the park any time of the year, but those winter months are the most popular because the monkeys like to bathe in the hot springs and keep warm. I mentioned it last week, but I want to mention it again because the Kiso Valley is a really beautiful area of the country. It's this 70-kilometer long track that runs through the Central Alps and is littered with these beautiful old post towns that just have the most beautiful architecture. So if you love nature and being in the mountains, then the Nagano region is definitely for you. Oh, and one more thing. You've probably heard that Japan is just full of deer roaming around, right? Well, if you visit the island of Itsukushima, just off the coast of Hiroshima, it is an island that is literally overrun with deer. There's just deer everywhere. Look at that one trying to get into the shop. They're so cute, but I think they're kind of little pests as well. They're very used to humans. Do be careful, but you can go up to them and give them a little pet, give them a little nibble on food. If you are going to feed the deer, please check what you are feeding them. This one thought my ferry ticket was food. It absolutely was not. They're so adorable though. Look at those eyes. And that is about it. I have covered every single beautiful spot within Japan. Oh gosh, I'm only joking. Japan is honestly so beautiful. There's so much to see and explore. So this definitely wasn't everything, but I hope it was enough to get you started and thinking about some of the beautiful places you could visit on your next trip. Remember, you can go back and watch my first video in this series where I looked at some of Japan's history and traditions. I will be back next week, Monday, 6 p.m. as usual, for my next perspective on Japan. Have a great week, everyone. Until next time.